Good morning and welcome to Community Meeting Live. Last week, many folks around the world were celebrating Diwali, the Festival of Lights. And so we want to honor that and share a little bit about what that really means. Enjoy this video.
At any time of year, a visitor to India can be overwhelmed by its beauty and color. But a visitor in late fall is especially fortunate. The temperature will have cooled down, the monsoons will have not yet begun, and Diwali, the festival of light, is at hand. Diwali is to many Indians what Christmas is to Christians. In essence, it commemorates the victory of the forces of light over the forces of darkness. To experience it fully, get up before dawn and head for the flower markets. Here, flower vendors work feverishly to create garlands of fragrant jasmine that Indians will use to adorn their homes. By dawn, they'll be sold out. Next, head for one of the temples, but go early. Later on in the day, they'll be packed. On your way over, you may see a curious sight. People hunched in front of their doorways, pouring colored sand on the ground. The sand takes the shape of a lotus blossom, a symbol of welcome. And today, millions of symbols of welcome will grace the nation's doorways. Indeed, Diwali is all about sharing. If you're staying in a private home, don't be surprised if the neighbors show up with plates of delicious holiday treats.
Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali, Abhirami.
It's also customary for families to go to the temples together on this day. They often dress in fine new outfits, purchased especially for Diwali. And if their outfits inspire you, head for a sari shop. Shops are open on Diwali, and Indian silks are justifiably famous for their beauty. They're just one of the ways India spruces up and gets into the holiday spirit.
So this is an occasion for all of us to rejoice and be with the family and enjoy all the good things in life. So we buy good clothes and make good food.
And everywhere there are lights. If you head to major commercial districts throughout India, you'll find colorful displays comparable to Christmas lights in Western cities. Some cities also put on spectacular public displays of fireworks, like this one in Delhi. But no matter where you are, there are smaller, more intimate fireworks displays. A long day of celebrations is coming to an end, and it's going out with a bang.
All right, that was a wonderful video, and I hope you learned a little bit more about Diwali and what that means. I wanted to continue to share with you some information that I found online to talk a little bit more about it, and then I have a special guest that will be here. So welcome to Community Meeting, and Mr. Key will join us very soon. One of the things we want to talk about is how folks have celebrated Diwali. Obviously, we are in pandemic, and that has limited our access to our friends and our families and being in public spaces. And so we want to see how folks have been celebrating Diwali this past week. So if you celebrated Diwali this week, how did you celebrate it? I found a CNN article where this specific gentleman said that he was going to celebrate. He dressed up. He made all the specific dishes, desserts, but then had a FaceTime/Zoom with his family around that. And so I would like to invite Ms. Patel, our special guest, to come and talk a little bit about her experience with Diwali and what that means for her and her culture. Hi, Ms. Patel.
Hello, how are you, Mr. B?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So obviously we have some photos here of staff members from Impact and students as well, sharing what they typically do around Diwali. And can you talk a little bit about what Diwali is from your perspective for your family, and then also how did you celebrate this week?
Yeah, definitely. Diwali is like a 5-day, week-long holiday festival in South Asian and Fijian cultures, and it is the time where we celebrate light over darkness, good over evil, and bring in it's a time of family and getting to know reconnecting with family members again that you have probably lost in touch with as the years go, eating a lot of food and just celebrating time together. This year has been different from the past few years. Normally it is every week long I'm going to family members' homes for dinner and hanging out with my cousins, but this year has been like social distancing and similar to what you were showing earlier, like Zoom gatherings, which is not the same, but with situations going on right now, it's completely understandable. And Diwali is also known as a festival of light. So some of you may have seen homes really decked out in Christmas lights, back in the end of August, early November. That's what that was. And also there's these things called divas that we have. They're clay pots that we make, decorate, and fill with ghee or purified butter. And they're oil lamps. We put a little wick inside of it and light it, and light them all around the house. And it's just a way of bringing in light into our homes in these months that are dark and gloomy. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I noticed that there are lots of beautiful colors that kind of represent this festival of light. Do the colors mean anything or represent anything specifically?
It's just brightness. What I have come to really appreciate about my culture and as I got older is we love brightness. There's bright colors in our foods and our clothes. We get dressed up in traditional clothes during this time. And we are loud and festive, loud music. Is just a way to bring in joy, especially on these winter months when things are just gloomy and cold. It's just a reminder of happiness and brightness into our lives.
Thank you for sharing that. And you can see here in all these wonderful photos of our staff members and our students and their families, all those wonderful colors, the festive foods. We don't have too many images here of lights, but I'm sure things were just as bright in person. So thank you so much for being here. And I really hope that there are students out there that did celebrate. If you want to share in the chat specifically what it is that you did to celebrate this year with your families, we'd love to hear from you. And then also, I appreciate you coming on, Ms. Patel, and talking about that specific experience. It makes our community stronger, knowing where we all come from and what it is that we do to celebrate love, life, and family. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Right. Once again, really appreciate Ms. Patel coming through. And we are going to also celebrate folks for their birthday. So happy birthday to these wonderful people. And some love for them in the chat. Happy birthday, Nathan. Happy birthday, Valentina, Liliana, Megan, and Giselle. All right. At Impact Academy, we strive to create and maintain a safe space, both physical and virtual, for everyone in this community. And in that being a safe space, if there are things that you would like to bring to the community to share, whether it be on what did I miss, what's the buzz, or just anything in general in relation to your culture, we'd love to have you on here. The more we know each other, the more we're able to be in community with each other. and we can work in teams to grow as leaders, and we do that through our agency. We create safe spaces for everybody, and we respect all aspects of folks here at Impact Academy. Continue to focus on that reasoning mindset. All the mindsets are important in our day-to-day lives, and we do them without even really thinking about it. And so in a lot of the work that you're doing in your classes, obviously we want to push you to really take a step back and think about your thinking. We want you to really think about, well, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And so continue to do that, but take a break. We're going to give you a whole week, actually. Take a whole week off and relax. That's on us. All right. I think it's time for What Did I Miss? Let's say hello to Mr. Key.
Good morning. Hey. Good morning. Thanks for the week off, Mr. B. That was really nice.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's the only thing that I can do, you know? All right, let's do the thing. Hey, everybody, this is the What Did I Miss? So any of you are like on the dance floor and be like, do the What Did I Miss? Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave now. Mr. Key, this is.
All right, everyone, sing along, sing along. You know the words. I hope it sticks in your head all day long.
$25, 2560. How does an awesome possum impact decorated teaching staff? Unite the students through Zoom chat, doing distance learning like academic acrobats. Breathe in, breathe out. You ready for more? Yeah. So what did I miss? What did I miss? Impact my home sweet home. I wanna give you a social distance hug. We've been indoors chilling all summer. This pandemic, man, it's such a bummer. Been put a match outside, but it's big live. Woo! Hey everybody, this is Mr. Keith. Welcome to What Did I Miss?
Welcome, welcome. I think you're gonna love today's guests. We have two amazing people from our very own staff. And first up is Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. What did you come here to share with us today?
I guess what, some music?
Some music? Yeah.
I don't know. I just showed up. You say, yeah, you want to come here? So you can kind of guide this anywhere you want. And
I mean, do you have some lyrics you want to share or some poetry?
I always have lyrics.
All right. Why don't we hear some lyrics?
All right, cool. This is a song. It's called "Makes You Feel," and it's about somebody who's kind of looking back on their life, and all of a sudden they have a moment, and it just kind of changes everything. Mm. All right, here we go. He had no time for small talk. He didn't mince words. He just sung the lyrics to the best song he ever heard. All his hopes and dreams had turned to despair. For what he was facing, there was no way to prepare. This came from a man who thought his life was ending. In his mind, it was serious. There was no pretending. He checked the clock on the wall before he said his goodbyes. Emitting tears he had spawned, see back into his eyes. He was told in life, there'll be no encore. He raised his hands to the heavens, put his knees on the floor. You don't have to be a genius to know you've been blessed. He said he'd pay it forward and always do his best. At that moment, what he'd been searching for became clear. He was here to serve those still living in fear. With his newfound enlightenment and the wind at his back, he decided to live out his life's final whack. He was a rich man now. He had purpose in life. And to capture this feeling, you don't pay a price. Before he set up on his own, he made a pledge to get some wins and live his life against the grain until the bitter end.
Until the bitter end. Yes, I wish that we could erupt in applause. I'm sure our students all over Hayward and the East Bay are doing that right now.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for laying that on us. And what's the message that you want our students to pick up from your lyrics?
The message is your life is really valuable, and we have highs and lows, and it might not be perfect, but people are noticing the good work that you're doing. And when you are in your your deepest moments, your direst moments, people will stick their hand out to help you, and that energy will be euphoric and give you the purpose that you need to carry on. So that's really what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, you've done that here in our community since you arrived. I know you've been doing that your whole life, even before you arrived to Impact. So I feel so grateful for that message that you spread in our community, like every day.
I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Will.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, put some love. I know you've already been showing some love to Mr. Williams in the chat there. I know that was a free performance. You didn't even have to pay for that. Props to Mr. Will. Next up, we have another teacher who can also spit some bars. Mr. Sot is here with us, and we're going to get to hear some of his poetry right now. Welcome, Mr. Sot.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You sound great.
Hey, awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Good. I'm really happy to be on the show. This is exciting. This is a highlight of my life.
Well, what are you going to share with us today?
I have a poem for you. I also have a poem like Mr. Williams. It's a poem I wrote a while ago, and it's sort of my homage to art. I love art, and it's a love poem to art, and it's also a double entendre. And it's been a while since I've written because of college and working, but poetry and writing is something that's always in my heart. And I love it when students share with me bars and verses and their poetry as well. So, yep. Should I just get started?
Yeah, the floor is yours.
All right, the floor is mine. All right, this poem is called Watercolor Man. It goes, I'm a watercolor man on blank canvas, and she's the brush and the strokes. I'm the oil and the pastel. She's the love and the hope. She's the rope and the umbilical, tying cyclical passion in an age where love is digital. This is pivotal. Look at the picture being drawn. She makes the sky meet dawn and the eyes respond to the image. Her imagination is the world we live in. So she paints it and she picks it and she chooses and she mixes different types of shades and pigments that make life worth living. Sometimes I feel like I'm a shade too different, but she drew me, so she knew me when I was just a loose vision. She and I only know who's the true me. So she sees the sky through me, then we both survive through me. I become the points and the edges and the dots that she scribbles and plots. She creates the frame and the box that hold me still. She paints a forest and I listen. She paints a pier and I watch. Colors appear on the dock and the rocks, back and forth from the bottom and top of the picture. Which way I move is depicted by her, and how I do what I do is an image of her. One and the same our relation as artist to creation. I'm her pleasure and pain, light in the dark from her flame, and her eyes that navigate paper terrain. We communicate non-verbally with certainty. She marries metaphor with hyperbole, moving the brush forward right underneath purposely. I learned that the ocean's what she heard in me. She buries her emotions in the pages and I'm born, and live forever till erased, tattered, or torn. Some say love fades away, but I think it gets reborn. Every time she faces an easel, good and evil make a storm. Her love is warm and her mind is galaxy exhibits. You can never have a heart if you only want her digits. Art is religious, the reason I exist. A watercolor painting of a closed-eyed kiss. If I could speak, then I would tell her this. My sunshine is your eyes. My mountains are your hips. My fingertips are pointing to the moonlight in your lips. You draw, but what's guiding you to find me? A picture's worth 1,000 words, because the artist that's behind me. Thank you.
That's the crowd going wild.
Awesome, yeah.
So you said this was a double entendre. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, okay. So I wrote it for my girlfriend back in college when we were first dating. Aww. And so, yeah, it was a sweet kind of poem, but also she just made me sort of, falling in love at the time and falling in love with art. I just mixed two of my greatest loves and passions into one poem. And
So beautiful. And thank you for sharing. I know putting your work out there can be nerve-wracking, and I think the students loved hearing it. The teachers loved hearing it, and I'm always happy when you share. So thank you.
Hey, I'm always happy to be here. Thank you so much, Joel.
Have a good one, Mr. Sot.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right, show Mr. Sot some love, some more love in the chat. Such amazing skills and talents, both from Mr. Will and Mr. Sot. And it feels so lucky to have their talents both as teachers but also as artists here at Impact Academy Middle. So many artists here. I love it. I love it. Well, that's it for What Did I Miss this week. We're going to move into a game of Kahoot. It is your favorite moment. This is a chance to win the big prizes, the bragging rights. Go ahead and pull out your phone or your second device and go to kahoot.it. You can also use your Kahoot app. And there is the game pin now. Make sure that you enter with your real name so we know who the winners are. Oh, Sahel is the first one in. We'll wait 1 whole minute for people to log into today's Kahoot game. See you in a minute. The focus of today's Kahoot is Native American Month. I know this is the month of Thanksgiving, but the whole story of Thanksgiving is a myth. And so we're actually going to focus in on some very important current day facts about Native Americans here in our country who are still very much here, powerful, resilient, enduring the genocide that happened on our very land here. So we're going to see your knowledge of Native American culture, facts, and history in the next 10 questions. We'll get started in about 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's start this game, Mr. B. When was National Native American Heritage Month founded? The month of November. $1990. It's 30 years old, this official month of celebration. Mr. Q, who are you? Good job. Does your family have Native American ancestry? There's no right or wrong answer on this question. If you answer, you get points. So cool. We got 28 people with Native American ancestry here at IAMG and 51 people who aren't sure. That could be a really amazing thing to go home and ask today. You are home. it could be an amazing thing to ask people in your family today to learn more. Nice job, Antonio. All right. The Muwekma Ohlone tribe here in Northern California actually consists of how many smaller tribes? Many times people use the word Ohlone to refer to all Native Americans who are from this area, when actually it's much more specific than that. Yeah, more than 50. More than 50 different smaller tribes. Not all just one group. Do you know what Huichin is? Sorry, the time was a little bit fast on that one. Yeah, the original name of the Bay Area. This is what all the different groups in the Ohlone tribe were calling their land, Huichin. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hey, what is this called? What is this? What is this picture? This is the medicine wheel, everybody. It's a really important symbol within many Native American cultures. What does the medicine wheel represent? Yeah, for all of you who said all of the above, it can represent stages of life, elements of nature, seasons, and more. So many different symbolic purposes. If you start to look around the Bay Area, you will also see medicine wheels. I bet you can find them. Have you heard of the 2016 hashtag #NoDAPL movement? What was that all about? It was a huge, huge news story and important event. Yeah, it was an indigenous protest of an oil pipeline in South Dakota. A huge event of people coming out to protest an oil pipeline being built. Was this protest the largest gathering of indigenous tribes in over a century? True or false? Shout out to Grad Profile Lab inputs. I see that. True, it was. Largest gathering of indigenous tribes in over 100 years. A powerful moment. All right, a couple more questions. Who are the Wampanoag? If you're in 8th grade, you have a hands up on this one. Yes. So this is the actual tribe that the Puritans and the Pilgrims were both interacting with as well as negotiating with. It's a whole political story involving disease, famine, and treaties. But this was the name of the actual group. Ask Miss Patel. She knows a ton about this. All right, what was the title of the famous speech by the Wampanoag tribe member who wasn't allowed to speak it in 1970? Yes, it was called the suppressed speech. So Miss Patel taught me that he was going to give a speech in honor of the anniversary of the first Thanksgiving, but when he was going to tell the real story, the organizers of the event, who were not Native American, wouldn't let him give the speech. Therefore, it is called the suppressed speech. Pretty messed up. All right, we have one more question. This summer, the Muskogee Creek Nation won a Supreme Court case. What was it about? Yeah, rights to their land. So the reservations in Oklahoma now have access and rights to almost half of the state. It was a huge decision and a huge win for Native American tribes in the state of California. And not in the state of California, in the state of Oklahoma. All right, who are our winners? We got Mick Schuler. Good job, Mick Schuler. Nice work. We have Stephanie A. Yes, Stephanie. Nice skills there and knowledge. And John. Big shout out to John for your knowledge, speed, good work. That is it for our Kahoot today. I hope that you all learned something about what is currently going on in the world of facts around our Native American community members. And Mr. B is going to do an unboxing right now.
So we had Miss Paula, who worked here last year, come on and talk, share a little bit about her art. And while she did that, I commissioned her to make some masks for Impact. And so I'm unboxing one of her wonderful masks and says IAMG on it. And so, John, you are now the official owner of one of these masks and this goodie bag. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And I'll send you an email of where you can pick that up. I'm wearing gloves because, you know, got to keep it safe. All right. So congratulations to you, John. And anyone else that won the last Kahoot, I have that information. I'll be emailing you as well. So congratulations, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. Have a wonderful day.
That's so cool, Mr. B. I love it. Watch all the winners of our last Kahoot game start coming for us.